Greetings everyone, welcome to Aviation Review. Today I'll be doing a review of the gorgeous Omega Seamaster GMT reference 2535.80. This watch incorporates the famous James Bond Blue Wave dial. It is a self-winding coaxial automatic GMT movement watch. The caliber is an Omega 2628. Has a 44-hour power reserve. Domed sapphire anti-reflective crystal. Also features a sapphire crystal exhibition back. Unidirectional rotating bezel. It is water resistant to 300 meters or 990 feet. This watch has a helium escape valve at the 10 o'clock position, date window at the 3 o'clock position. The case diameter is 41 millimeters. The fixed bracelet size is 7-inch when you buy it new. Obviously it is adjustable. The clasp is a fold-over clasp with deployment buckle. Also incorporates a diver's extension. Standard Omega luminescent hands and markers. Also has a screw-down crown and case back, as you normally find on professional diving watches. This watch also incorporates a quick-set hour hand. A couple things about the movement. The Omega Seamaster GMT uses a modified version of the ETA or Swatch Group 2892 movement, which Omega has branded the 1120 movement that they use in their Seamaster line. Omega added a quick-set hour hand to this movement, and it is known as the 2893. And they also added the coaxial escapement, which is proprietary to Omega, and they have branded this movement the 2628. A lot of people think that the movement in this watch is an in-house movement. That is not true, because by definition an in-house movement is a movement that is researched, developed, and manufactured only by the watchmaker. And in this case, as we already discussed, Omega's 2628 movement is a modified version of a Swatch 2893. So because of those facts, this Omega Seamaster GMT does not incorporate an in-house movement. It's a fantastic piece. I personally think, in my opinion, that this is the coolest and best looking of the Bond Blue Wave Seamasters. I think blue is kind of Omega's signature color. Most people can recognize the blue Seamaster as the James Bond watch. A couple reasons why I chose this watch. There's a couple big things I look for when I choose a watch. The first is I like sapphire crystal. I know a lot of people will argue that mineral or hardlex crystal can stand up to the same type of punishment that a sapphire crystal can. I can tell you first and foremost that is untrue. As an aviator, we're working within tight spaces and tight confines. Reaching your arm into several tight places, banging around against metal components, going into small compartments, scraping against luggage. Mineral and hardlex crystal has not fared so well in my job. Sapphire crystal is really the only thing that can hold up well. I won't say it's damage proof, but it's definitely more resistant to damage and scratches than hardlex and mineral crystal. The second thing I look for is obviously a GMT movement. As an aviator, this is absolutely critical. As we move time zones and travel to different countries, it's important that you always know what your home time is. I always use the GMT hand to set my home time, and I use the quick set hour hand to set the local time. That way I can quickly set the time zone for the location that I'm in without disrupting the time of the GMT hand. Another thing I look for is stainless steel or titanium bracelet. In this particular case, this watch did not come with a titanium bracelet version, but stainless steel suffices. Not a big fan of leather straps, just because they tend to get pretty nasty when you're sweating in them, and you're exposing them to a lot of rigorous work, and they just get wet. I am a fan of rubber. Obviously, rubber is going to hold up probably the best out of leather and stainless, but I would say that I like deployment clasp metal bracelets because you can put them on very quickly and take them off just as quickly. The third thing I look for is an automatic movement. I know that there's some pretty darn good quartz movements out there, but I'm not a fan of waking up, as I've done several times, to grab my watch and the battery's dead. So I opted for an automatic movement, and the particular movement in this watch, the coaxial escapement, I really liked it, so I opted for it. Also with this watch, the sapphire, not necessarily a feature I went for in particular, but the sapphire crystal exhibition back is kind of nice because it sticks to your skin. It doesn't even stick when you're really sweaty or working out real hard. It adheres to the natural moisture of your skin and it stays put. I see a lot of people with big expensive dive watches. They're constantly doing the wristwatch jiggle. They're raising their hand up and they're jiggling their wrist from left and right to get their watch into a comfortable position. I know some people that do that 20, 30 times a day. It's hilarious to watch, and to me, it defeats the purpose of spending that much money on a nice dive watch. I mean, you want it to be functional and aesthetic. So always fighting with your watch like that, I think that's kind of a waste. So the exhibition case back, yeah, it's pretty nice. It makes the watch stay put. I never have to adjust this watch, and that's incredible for a metal watch. It also allows you to not have to tighten the bracelet to an uncomfortable amount. I basically have this bracelet set so when I want to, I can bring the watch, above or below my wrist bone, but it's not there with a kung fu grip to the point where I'm cutting off circulations or it's uncomfortable. It just stays put thanks to that sapphire crystal case back. That pretty much is it. That wraps up all the features of the watch and why I chose it in particular. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you tune in to more episodes, and I hope you subscribe to my channel. Feel free to email any questions, comments to AviationRevue. That's AviationRevue @gmail.com, and I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you.